Welcome to a special edition of What's Good Wednesday. With me today, we have Chris Rooker. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
And on What's Good Wednesdays, we'd like to talk about what's going good in the world to help balance out all the negativity. And today, I have with me Chris, and Chris has worked with me for almost 5 years now at Signal. Chris, when I got to Signal, was in the branches as a training specialist, and then got promoted to being our senior talent development manager. And he has made such a huge impact on Signal in these past few years. It's very rare that you find someone that's very passionate and good at training. But when you have someone who is good at designing, developing, and facilitating, that trifecta is very, very unique. And then you add his personality, which can get a little bit cocky, a little bit confident, a little bit fun when you talk about things like maybe, I don't know, the Ravens, his team that recently lost. Sorry. But, I can't talk much about the Washington team. But Chris is a huge asset to Signal, and he really has been a great level of fun, passion, and intelligence that he brings to the table. So I wanted Chris to share a little bit about what's going good with him today. Clearly not the Ravens, but what's going good with you today, Chris?
Still the Ravens. I think it's like 35-7 in their last 42 games. So it's not a bad racket.
But didn't the Patriots have a worse record than the Ravens?
They did, but Super Bowls are won in January and February, my friend.
So what is going good with you? Seriously.
Well, I mean, it's I guess being alive. It's like I'm just very fortunate. Thanksgiving's next week, and it's the time of year where you start to really think about, taking an audit, so to speak, of just kind of where you are and what's good, what isn't. And, a lot of people are really hurting right now, and whether it be losing loved ones or concerns over the economy or, whatever the case may be. And I think many of us are very fortunate that as hard as this is, we're still here and everything's going well. And overall life is very good. It's a great place to work. So, things could definitely be a lot worse.
And how are things at home? I know, you have some loved ones with you, including some pets. How are things going on at home? And
they love the pandemic, especially since they can't get COVID, nor do they have to get those swabs stuck up their nose. So the pandemic has been best for the dogs, having us around all the time. And so that's been wonderful. We don't have a doorbell. We don't need one. We have them. So it's been good hanging out with them. And I live with a school teacher, so that's been fun seeing her navigate through the, perils of distance learning and kind of adjusting and evolving, as that continues to develop. So, but it's been really good.
I gotta imagine between her being a teacher and you're in training and development, that you probably have some common grounds that you share ideas with maybe sometimes.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We both do very similar aspects, I have to say, and in a lot of ways, it would, she has to teach usually 8th grade students, and it's just interesting seeing the difference between that and teaching adults. Just two completely different things. But at the same time, a lot in common as well. So it's been kind of fun just kind of picking up on a few things that she does that I've started to implement and vice versa.
So as far as what I like to do at the end of every video is I always like to ask 2 questions. And the first question I want to ask is, what 2 things about Signal do you enjoy the most?
Well, I'd say the biggest thing far and away is that we have fun. There's no law or rule, or it's certainly not in the Constitution where it says you can't have fun at work. But yet many workplaces operate as if that is the rule of the land. You spend more than half the time that you're awake at work. Your work family basically is your family, whether you realize that or embrace it or not. And Francois has just been wonderful. Our CEO, he's great about that. He sets the tone from the top. And it doesn't come at the expense of not working and not doing quality work, and that's good too, because it's one thing to have fun, but if it's coming at the expense of putting out quality work, then it's, it doesn't really make sense. But we're able to do both. And I think that it actually unlocks us to do our best work, which ties into point number 2 that I love about Signal is having that creative license to, to try new things and to be different and to, again, I mean, I always go back to, there isn't some law that says you have to be boring and you have to do things the way they've always been done. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I really truly believe that the best product and the best quality of work that you can do is when you're constantly evolving, trying new things, being different. And I think a prerequisite to that is, not taking yourself too seriously. You want to take your work seriously, but not yourself too seriously. And again, that starts with Francois, obviously you, another one. We love to have fun or, make fun of each other or their sports teams. You're a Washington football team fan, so I like to call that throwing stones in a glass house. But hey, whatever floats your boat.
Hey, touche. Well, and I agree with you. I think that Francois does have a lot of care about the quality that we put out, but he puts that same care into the people. So
Right.
it is a big plus. And I think that you're right. The creativity, you alone, just the creative twist that you put into the training. You do it with a lot of knowledge, expertise, and creativity so that people will not only learn, but they retain it. And I got to say, kudos to you for also taking something that I've never seen anyone do so well, is you've branded training that we did called Drsw. Drsw has been branded so well that the entire credit union is actually going around and uses it and has it part of their daily routine and incorporates it to everything they do. So kudos to you for doing such a great job with that.
It takes a village. It's hands on deck with that. And, the thing about the creative license is that it doesn't always work, and that's part of it. So I would say to anyone out there, listening to this, is one of the things that is really important with that is being okay with failure and learning from it. And, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you just have to go for it and try some things and be willing to be agile, be willing to take feedback and being open and honest enough to know when it doesn't work and how you can improve upon that. So, again, Signal is just really great with all of that. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's been a great experience so far.
So my last question for you is, who in your life has motivated you or inspired you the most?
That's a good question. There's a lot of good people that have definitely inspired me over the years. I would probably say, if I had to pick one, probably Martin Luther King. I just think that what he stood for, and he never backed down, and as angry as he was at times, and he had every right to be angry with everything that was going on and everything that was kind of thrown against him. The fact that he had the poise and to really think through everything, tactically and come up with, comprehensive plans and really influence policy the way that he did and leave a mark on generations later. I mean, it wasn't just that he was fighting for the right things. It was the way that he was doing it. And then on top of all of that, just inspiring people for years and years after he left us. And, that's amazing to me. The fact that, that was just one person and he stood up in terribly difficult times and dug deep and fought for everyone. And I really respect him and everything that he fought for.
And that's, you're right. That's a great person that has inspired many people. I mean, one of my favorite quotes, and I'll paraphrase it, is, it's always the right time to do the right thing. He had so many inspirational messages out there. So great message. Chris, thank you again for not only just being a great partner, a great friend, a great team player, but just a great trainer and a great valuable asset to Signal and the Signal family. You've done so much in your time, and I look forward to seeing everything else you do in the future. But thank you for everything you've done, and hope everyone out there is doing their best to help out others, and hope everyone has a great week.
Thanks for having me.